Welcome everyone to the U.S. Culture and Business Practices Online Information Session. I'm Lee Bullock. I'm Assistant Director for the program. I just wanted to know, I just wanted to say I know everyone has busy lives and to thank everyone for taking time out of your day to be here with us. And just to let everyone know this session is being recorded. So again, we appreciate you and your interest in the U.S. Culture and Business Practices program here at UK. So thank you. We're scheduled for an hour, but I want to make sure we have time to get to any questions you may have. So we're going to spend probably the first 30 or so minutes giving everyone an overview of the program, talk a little bit about the program's curriculum, and then the student resources that are offered to both in-person and online students, and then kind of next step matters in terms of applying and admissions. And then the rest of the time we'll spend on a Q&A session and open the floor to make sure we answer any questions you have. If you have any questions during the presentation, you can just go ahead and drop them in the chat, and we'll make sure that we get to those. So our director, Dr. Lyon, couldn't be here with us tonight, but she is the Senior Associate Dean of Faculty in the College of Arts and Sciences, and she is also Professor of Anthropology. I am also an anthropologist, meaning we basically study people and culture. She and I are both economic anthropologists, so we have interest in how business and culture and economic systems work together. So my early academic and professional background is in business management and finance. I've been here at UK in a range of capacities for the past 10 years or so. I did a master's of English here, as well as my PhD in anthropology. And I was brought on as assistant director in July of last year. And so I'm just thrilled to be a part of this young but growing program. So before we get started, I would like to take a moment and introduce, I believe Jesse Hedge and perhaps Megan Kasherba might be here with us as well. Not, that's fine. Jesse and Megan are both part of the program. He is Assistant Dean for Undergraduate International Affairs, and Megan is the International Undergraduate Student Director for China and South Asia. So, well, let's go ahead and get into it. So there is an online and an in-person option for this program. And I know the majority of you are here probably to hear about the online option, but I do want to make sure we have time to speak to the questions that both propose for you. So in both cases, we're committed to student success. So what do we mean by student success? So in a nutshell, we want to be able to make sure that you have all the tools you need to succeed while you're in the program. Absolutely. But we also want to make sure that you're positioned to succeed after completing the program, right? The reason you're here. So whatever that success looks like for you, whether that's a new career, advancement in your current position, or a degree completion, and an increase in job choice. And so we do that in a few ways. So one, we have a flexible degree program. We know that's the draw for online a lot of times. I've been online. I've been a working student and so on. One of the main things about the program is you gain this formal business training in the Gatton College of Business and Economics, and we'll go over that in a moment when we look at the curriculum. But you also get the development of soft skills that comes through kind of the more critical thinking oriented, interpretive places that the social sciences and humanities kind of draw from. Right. So one of the unique things about this is that you get the fundamentals of a business degree, but you also get that broader scope of a liberal arts education. So really, it's kind of unique to get the opportunity to get both of those in the same place, and to work through so many departments in arts and sciences, working through 10 plus departments, and to have that student flexibility in seeking out coursework that speaks to their needs, their interest, and their curiosities. So why USB? I'm sure you noticed the word flexibility a few times, and you'll see it a few more. We understand that this online program will cater to people from a wide variety of backgrounds, and needs. So flexibility kind of stands in for that recognition. So whether for continuing students who may have left higher education and now want to return to finish a degree, transfer students, whether from another university, pardon me, or from a community college system, or international students who want a US degree, there are options here for that, right? And so there's also the flexibility. The online learning allows people who are uh, working, have kids, whatever your life projects are at the moment. And we can help prepare you for a future in a number of trajectories that might match up with your interests, whether that be financial advising, management, marketing and advertisement, or more socially involved trajectory like nonprofit sector work. So the program's versatile. And I think you'll see this as we give an overview of the curriculum. And if any of you here are considering the program as incoming freshmen, this will kind of give you a pretty solid idea of how the program curriculum works. So rather than take each one of these separately, I'm going to go ahead and put them all up. And then we can kind of see the program as a whole, and we can kind of walk through each of these. So you'll see to the left in that frame, the ANS major requirements. So that's for the US Culture and Business Practice major itself. And there are two required courses right now. There's USB 201, which is an introduction to culture and business studies. And then there's the senior capstone. And so these act as kind of um, bookends to the program. So the US B201 you would normally do in your freshman year, the capstone in your senior year, and that's your graduate communication and composition requirement that allows you to graduate. So it shows mastery, right? Um, so these here, the ANS course requirements. So this is for the college itself. So you can take 6 hours from these listed courses, and we're always looking to add more on because these are ones that are most often offered online. So the business and organization cultures. So we'll look at things like marketing, branding. How do social scientists participate and intervene in particular kind of business practices? If you want to streamline productivity in your office, how would you go about that? Those kinds of things. And then the other, sports, politics, and business in the US, that's very popular. A lot of students have interest in that. And then kind of the more practical things, business ethics, right? You want to be ethical in business, obviously, and then kind of more practical skills. So business writing and how do you go about tackling that genre. And then third, in this third bubble, these are the courses that you'll be taking in the Gatton College of Business and Economics, right? And so you'll be taking 4 classes there, 12 hours, each one of these being 3. And you can kind of see all of the different possible career trajectories that you might get. So accounting, principles of economics, so your microeconomics and your macro, business economics, how on a real at the ground level or scaled up do businesses make the decisions that they do, personal investing and financial planning, marketing. We try to have courses that are updated based on different kinds of trends. So digital marketing strategy and sales, introduction to entrepreneurship, right? Introduction to managing organizations, international business, human resource management. So all of these are options to fulfill that the foundational business training that you get out of GAP. And then lastly, there's guided electives. So you'll want 18 hours. So there are 3 kind of pillars of the US Culture and Business Practices program, and those are national formations, American communities and identities, and literary arts. So national formations, there's 48 course options. National formations is just what it sounds like. How did the country come to be? What role did business play in the formation of the US, right? So a lot of that's going to be history courses. So maybe the Civil War and Reconstruction, contemporary American history from 1900 to 1945, and so on. And then you also get a lot of political science courses. So history of the Constitution, history of law, these kinds of things. American communities and identities. that this is kind of the US culture part of it, right? So you might, and there's 30 course options. So you might look at things that are from a particular region. So Appalachian studies, where where UK is located, or it might be um, Southern, the history of the US South, or it could be a literature class, how particular regions or periods of time been depicted in literary. And then there's literary arts. So literature, yes, but expand that out to consider also digital humanities and things such as film. And there's 15 course options in that. And so that can span African American literature, contemporary American literature, and so on. So you can see that this degree is definitely interdisciplinary. And we draw from history, political science, writing, rhetoric, and digital studies, anthropology, sociology, Appalachian studies, African American studies, Hispanic studies, English, all of these different fields that in the liberal arts that can go and then complement kind of the hard training in business. Uh, I just want to mention that, that kind of interdisciplinariness and that blending isn't just kind of an academic exercise. They're actually people and faculty that guide the U.S. Culture and Business Practices program. So our faculty of record comes from a range of disciplines and area of expertise. I think it's important to emphasize that our faculty of record volunteer to take on this role with us, and that this is in addition to their other teaching and research responsibilities in their home departments. So in other words, they take on this responsibility because they believe in the program, and foremost, they believe in our students. And for me, that's one of the things that makes this program unique. I mean, no other program has this particular group of people with this expertise. And so uh, just say a few words. There's Dr. Lyon and myself. Dr. Hamilton in history, his expertise in 20th century America, public policy, agriculture in the state, all of these things, depending on where you are in terms of your career trajectories or your business interests, become pertinent. Dr. Catherine Engel, Director of Appalachian Studies. She deals with local food systems. So again, there's that kind of your American communities hookup. And Dr. Walter Ferrier, he's head of management in the Gatton School, who looks at competition, strategic decision making. Dr. Matt Godby, he's in the English department and has expertise in film. So again, that literary arts, right? Dr. Maggie McDonald, who is in political science and deals with campaigns and elections, political communications, interest groups. Certainly, you're going to be dealing with all of these things as you in whatever role in a business organization that you're in. Dr. Monroe, who is also an anthropologist specializing in urban anthropology, looks at mobility and migration across cities, right? Which is particularly important, especially in your larger metropolitan areas, if that's what you're dealing with. Dr. Anastasia Todd is in gender and women's studies. Dr. Andrew Wood is in our Department of Geography, looks at property and property development. And Dr. Zanoon has expertise in race and ethnicity, sociology of religion, and quantitative research. And he's in our sociology department. So you get a nice balance of that qualitative research methodology that you might need. So for instance, surveys, focus groups, interviews, as well as the number side, the quantitative side of it, right? That's so important in traditional business research. So in addition to our faculty, I'd like to quickly highlight two areas where the online and in-person programs share some similarities. And that's in terms of services available to students and then in classroom engagement. And so first, in terms of student services, at UK, we strive to make sure that our fully online students have the same opportunities in terms of academic advising, academic assistance, career development opportunities, and access to the tools that they'll need, such as software, which can be really expensive, right? But which you can get through UK. And so that same access and opportunity that our on-campus students get. So just briefly, we do offer professional academic advising for our fully online students. If you need accommodations for whatever reason, we can do that for you through the Disability Resource Center. For instance, if you need extra time on quizzes and that kind of thing, you can sign up for that and they'll communicate that with the faculty so that we can accommodate you so that you're as successful as possible. Distance learning library services. So, while we have these amazing libraries on campus, you also have access to a lot of the same resources and services that our on-campus students do. The same goes with Presentation U and the Writing Center. Presentation U being a center where you can go and get help and assistance with creating visual presentations, speech presentations, and so on. The Writing Center, exactly what it sounds like. You can schedule virtual and online sessions where you can take a piece of writing and they'll help you edit it and revise it. Or if you're having trouble generating an idea for a course project, they can help you with that. The Stucker Career Center has online resources available for resume development, interviewing skills. They have online resources if you're looking for internship opportunities. So, and then that's not just in Lexington. There's a whole network of internship opportunities and alumni contacts that you can access and leverage through the Career Center. So not just here in Lexington, but really statewide and nationally. And again, as I mentioned, the software download. So if you need statistical packages for your business classes like SPSS or MATLAB, you can get those there. If you need word processing and databasing programs like through Microsoft Word, you can get those through there. And of course, that's for both PC and Mac. The second area I'd like to talk about quickly is classroom engagement. And obviously, when students come to class in person, there are plenty of opportunities for interpersonal contact with their peers and the faculty, right? Obviously, online, these kinds of interactions, they're not so straightforward and it might look a little different. So some of the things that we do, and this is best practice in distance learning, making use of discussion boards. So maybe you'll have an assignment or a reading, and then you'll be prompted to post, your thoughts about it, and then a peer will be required to respond, and then you can respond back. And so at least there's that interaction, and intellectual exchange around the material that you're looking at. All of the staff is going to have dedicated office hours. Some faculty might even add additional hours or opportunities for people in the online course or program to come in and hang out digitally and to chat. So to extend those opportunities for pardon me, for contact and for mentorship, right? And then experiential learning. So in some of my classes in the USB, say 201 and 495, those bookends, there'll be assignments to go on campus, find some kind of business entity on campus, whether it's Chick-fil-A or whether it's an Amazon Dropbox. How are people interacting with it, right? What kind of cultural resonance is it giving off, and how is it interacting with the community, and how is the campus community interacting with it? Or maybe go and survey a business downtown and kind of assess the history of that business and what its values are. So there's absolutely no reason that those experiential assignments and practices can't be replicated where you live, right? So if you're living in Cincinnati and you're not here, go downtown, see what kind of businesses are there. Is there a historically important butcher shop? These kinds of things. Is there a landmark downtown that you would like to survey and talk about how maybe it's in a traditionally African American business district? And so you can look into that where you are. So there's no reason that you can't participate um, in those things and have those same experiences that some of our students are getting on campus. Um, I, I'd also like to say, this kind of aspect of the program is really important to UK as an institution and to us as a program. Um, so just two more slides, and then we can go ahead and open up to questions. So I don't want to get too in the weeds with this, but our online tuition rate is standard for both resident and non-resident students. So both for Kentucky residents and non-Kentucky residents. And that's $6.11 per credit hour. And that does include mandatory fees. I do want to point out, and please do take as much advantage of this as you can. So if you're a transfer student, there might be some interesting opportunities for you. If you're a non-traditional student, there might be some interesting scholarship and grant opportunities. A lot of our students here are on financial aid, but you can go ahead and look through some of those. Definitely talk to a financial advisor, or mention it to your admissions counselor, and they'll be able to help you. And then we do have on our website kind of a UK scholarship universe, right, which includes both those that are offered through the university, the state, and then other organizations. Um, so we do try to, help you seek out opportunities to keep this as affordable and non-painful as possible. Lastly, I just wanted to make a couple points about admissions. And again, I'm not sure where all of you are in your college journey at the moment, but do take advantage of our admission counseling services and staff. For those of you that have credit hours that you are transferring in from other institutions, we have a really convenient transfer credit tool. What you can do is it has drop downs, and you can enter the name of the institution, the class that you're looking for, and it will give you the equivalency here at UK most times. Otherwise, you can certainly speak with your advisor about it and work out equivalencies that way. But what it does is it'll kind of let you know where you are in terms of the coursework that you're going to have to take, how long it'll take you, and then figure out your coursework plan with your advisor after that. Some of you may be readmits, meaning you have been at UK previously and are in a place where you want to come back and finish your degree. I encourage you to visit the readmission section of the admissions website for readmits. There may be programs available to you, such as Project Graduate, where you can perhaps expedite some of the admissions and registration processes if you qualify for those. Really, I just want to make sure you have knowledge of and access to as many of the opportunities that are available at UK. I think that's pretty much all I have. That's the kind of really brief, broad overview of the program. But I did let you know about the U.S. Culture and Business Practice program, talked about some of its strengths in terms of flexibility, the number of different degree or kind of career and future-based paths that you can go on, the services that are available to you, our online community at UK. And again, I wanted to thank you for being here this evening.